listen to this.
Greetings to all. Today, let us nourish the wisdom within the mind, within the life element that is formless, empty, clear, and pure. We each already possess this pure element, yet we do not recognize our own original nature. We become lost in the movements of the mind, deluded by material elements, mistakenly believing they are us or ours. No one ever came to teach us what our true origin is. From the moment we were born, not even our parents, elders, or teachers in school ever spoke about this true beginning. No one ever taught us that the mind, the root element itself, is what we truly are. This is because everyone in this world also does not know. They do not know that they are consciousness, a life element beyond form, unborn, undying, unshaped, and indivisible from the clear and empty space right before us. It is inseparable from the boundless emptiness underlying all things. The universe, indeed the infinite cosmos, exists within this primordial element, this clear and pure emptiness. Every star floats within it. Darkness and light both arise and pass within it. The sun, black holes, great forces of energy, and even the explosions of dying stars, all these phenomena occur within this clear space. They are not fundamentally tied to any one state or material element. This is the original ground, the base of all things, the essential element we have never truly known, because we've been constantly reaching outward, seeking knowledge outside ourselves. We have not turned inward to rediscover our true origin. But now I speak to declare the core of world peace, the universal path beyond suffering, the essence of the element, the essence of life itself. I have recorded many talks so that every one of us, child or elder, woman or man, able-bodied or disabled, regardless of gender, age, class, status, belief, nationality, ethnicity, or religion, can learn the science of the mind, the realization of our original elemental consciousness. We must now begin to speak about the mind, about this fundamental life element that we truly are. This is the sole reason we have come into existence, temporarily dwelling in these bodies. This is the one knowledge we must awaken to, for if we do not realize it, we will continue to be reborn into various forms, endlessly. We are mind, we are the formless, clear, pure life element. When this body dissolves, the mind or life element moves on to seek another vessel. Most often, these vessels are forms of animals, aquatic, terrestrial, subterranean, or aerial, awaiting our return. Their numbers are vast beyond measure. In contrast, the chance of being born again as a human is incredibly rare, about 0.001%. When we take on a new vessel, the cycle begins anew. We learn again, seek food and shelter, grow and propagate our kind. Then, in time, that body too breaks apart. But do we realize that throughout this entire story, the mind, the life element, remains unaware of it all? It neither needs nor seeks such knowledge. It simply moves on to find a new vessel and begins the cycle again, growing, surviving, consuming. We consume others and they respond with fear or anger. Others consume us and we feel the same in return. This reciprocal pattern continues, interwoven lives, reacting, colliding, supporting, or destroying one another. It has been this way since the earliest era, when we first began inhabiting bodies on the first planet, as single-celled beings, then 2 cells, 3, 4, evolving onward. Did you know that material elements on their own inevitably dissolve? Without the presence of mind or the life element to animate them, all matter eventually disintegrates. Everything that arises is destined to break apart. But when consciousness, the life element, enters a form, that form becomes alive, becomes a person or an animal. Imagine this. If consciousness were to leave your body right now, the body would immediately collapse, the heart would stop, the brain could no longer think, the ears would cease to hear. If someone struck or shattered this bodily vessel, it wouldn't react, because consciousness is not in it. The body is lifeless without the mind dwelling within it. What I'm trying to tell you is this. Our consciousness has entered these forms, human or animal, for one purpose only, to discover what we truly are. When we first arrive in this human vessel, do we even know how we got here? We don't. We come into this form full of unknowing, and once we arrive, we begin to learn about the world, step by step. But deep down, haven't you ever wondered, why was I born? What am I really looking for? The truth is, we don't know what will happen next. This unknowing lives with us constantly, so we struggle and strive to find the answer to life. We live trying to answer the question, what do I really want? And as we search, we begin to age, gradually deteriorating. The body wears out like a vehicle, new at first, but over time rusting, breaking down, and becoming unusable. And then we must seek a new one again. We have changed physical forms countless times. When this body deteriorates and ceases to function, the mind, the life element, moves on to seek another vessel. We take refuge in many forms, most of which are animals. At this moment, we are dwelling in this human body, a temporary vessel that will not last long. The fact that we inhabit it shows clearly that we are the life element without form. For if we had a form, we would not need to take shelter in any vessel at all. You must understand the nature of mind, how it works, and what it is. Then, and only then, will you be free from the cycle of birth. We are mind. We are the pure, radiant life element. Remember this well. Everything else is not us, not truly ours. In fact, we have never truly been born on this earth, never truly been human, because the mind, the life element, has no form. It is supremely empty, radiant, and pure. We are that crystal clear, formless essence, indistinguishable from the vast emptiness before us. You cannot hold it in your hand. We are the primordial essence merged with the clear emptiness that pervades the elemental universe. I have come to proclaim this truth, so that we may test it for ourselves, see if it is true or not. To discover what we really are, we must begin to understand clearly. Let us imagine stripping away this body. Without the body, only the mind and its movements remain. Now, let us also strip away those movements, the emotional states of happiness, sorrow, and neutrality. These emotions are simply energetic ripples of the mind, like the light and heat radiating from the sun. The sun gives off radiance, warmth, energy, electromagnetic waves, gravity, all of which are expressions of the sun's nature. They are not the sun itself, but movements inseparable from it. We are mind. We are the clear, luminous life element. The movements of this life element ripple as what we call emotions. Now, let us remove all emotions, no joy, no sorrow, none at all. Then, remove the act of imagining. No images arise, no mental scenes. We remove the voice that is speaking now. There are no thoughts and no internal voices. Erase all voices completely. No thoughts remain. One cannot think anymore. There are no imagined images and no emotions left. We also erase memories. Erase the current state of perception. Right now we are perceiving this voice, smells, touches, sights, sensations on the tongue, and tastes. Erase all perceptions. There will be no perception of anything. What remains is pure, empty, and pristine emptiness. Here, there is no spoken language. Here, there is nothing that we once held as ourselves, nothing at all. There is no body here. There are no emotions of ours here either, no happiness, no sorrow, not even neutrality. There are no mental images here, no thoughts or inner voices, no memories, no perception of any kind. This is the elemental essence of our origin. In this state, there is no coming or going, no birth and no dissolution, no darkness and no light, no merit or sin, no right or wrong, no real or false. Nothing is fabricated. There is no owner. It is the immortal element, existing just as it is. It is the original base, the source from which all things arise, and all things abide within this base, within this pure, empty, and luminous essence. This kind of knowledge we've never heard, never studied, never known before. I'm not teaching you to memorize anything. I'm not asking you to think. I'm merely pointing to the elemental source of who we are, so that we may recognize it, so we may release our clinging. We cling to emotions, happiness, sorrow. We attach to them all. Yet we do not realize that we are the pure element. We mistake the fabricated elements for ourselves. In truth, the original element relies on conditioned elements only as tools to learn. We are a pure element that has no tools of its own and cannot know its nature unless it has something to rely upon. But once we have the tools, we become lost in them. We cling to the tools as if they were ourselves. It is like building a submarine to explore the ocean depths. We craft diving suits, oxygen tanks, so that we may study the world beneath the water, but then we cling to the oxygen tank as ours, to the diving suit as ourselves. We cling to the submarine as if it were truly us. We confuse what we use for exploration as being our identity. But we created these tools only to explore the underwater world. Once we have learned, once we've seen, known, and understood what lies beneath, we return to the surface, and those tools have no value anymore. What we truly wanted was to understand what lies beneath the sea. That was our aim. The submarine, the suit, the tank, they were never the goal. They were merely tools. It is this simple. What we seek is understanding, not possession. When knowledge is realized, doubt vanishes. Every question arises from not knowing. When we do not know, we naturally doubt and seek to learn. We do not realize that we are mind, that we are the clear, empty, and pure life element. We do not recognize ourselves as the original essence. That's why we wonder how we came to dwell in this vessel. That's why we continue to ask what it is we truly want. That's why we wonder, when this body decays and dies, where will we go? Everything in this world is a tool we temporarily rely upon in order to learn. Just like a submarine or a diving suit, we inhabit this body as if wearing a suit. We put on this body and dwell within this constructed world for one purpose only: to learn and realize that we are the formless, clear, and pure life element. We live in this conventional world, using these tools to recognize that we are mind. We are the element without shape. That means the suit we now wear, this bodily vessel, is not for clinging. It is not so we become lost in believing we are male or female, with names and identities, only to destroy and consume one another, and then keep believing we are this body. We are not here to be lost in the vessel. Yet now, we are already lost. We have already clung to it. We have come to believe that we are human. That's why I say, try imagining erasing the body for a moment. You will instantly see that it's not truly you. What remains is only the mind and the movements of the mind. And if those movements are also dissolved, only the pure mind remains. I speak in simple terms for clarity, but I'm not asking you to actually erase anything. I only want you to see the picture. The mind lies deep within, obscured by its own expressions, wrapped in emotion, and wrapped again in this body. We become lost, thinking we are this physical form. So I say, try to imagine erasing the body and looking inward. What are we really, deep down? This body will eventually break apart and die. We all know this truth. Yet strangely, it's a truth we cannot accept because we don't want this body to grow old. We don't want it to get sick. We don't want cancer. We don't want diabetes. We don't want allergies or lung disease or liver failure or kidney problems or heart disease. We don't want any of it. We want the body to stay young and beautiful forever. But we know the truth, that it grows older little by little. I myself never had grey hair. Now I do. Skin that once was smooth begins to wrinkle and wear. I once walked easily, ran freely. Now I can no longer run, and even walking becomes difficult, and eventually the body will cease to function. This is nature. It's constantly showing us the truth. This vessel is not truly ours. So why do we cling so fiercely to the belief that it is? Because no one ever told us. No one ever taught us. Imagine if this had been taught to us since childhood, every day, if parents taught their children, if teachers taught students every day. This body is not truly yours. Children, my dear ones, we are merely residing in this body temporarily. This body won't last long. It could fall apart this evening or tomorrow. It could die from countless causes. You could be walking, slipping and hitting your head against a concrete edge. Gone. A large tree might fall and crush your house. Gone. You could be driving and a tree collapses on your car. Gone. Another vehicle might crash into yours. Gone. You could be sitting on a plane and something goes wrong. Gone. Even while eating, you might choke, go into shock, and die right then. You might eat something that carries a parasite that attacks your brain. Gone. Or while peacefully eating, your heart could suddenly stop due to a clogged artery, a sudden, fatal collapse. This body is fragile. It doesn't last long. If we were taught this truth regularly, because it is the truth, we would live with mindfulness and urgency. We would seek the answer to what we truly are, so we wouldn't have to return and suffer again, because having a body brings suffering. The body brings endless complications. But what if we had no body? There would be no suffering at all. So let's try not to depend on it. Let's stop relying on emotions. Let happiness arise and pass as it must. We won't attach to it, won't foolishly grasp it. Let it be known for what it is, but not clung to. Try this. And likewise with sorrow, let sadness arise for whatever reason, but don't interfere. Whatever emotion appears, leave it be. We won't lean on it. We won't grip it. Let's simply observe, like watching a film. We won't be the hero. We won't be the heroine. We won't even be a background character. We won't be the director of this movie. We'll only be the watcher, understanding that none of it is real. We'll be the ones who watch without grasping. Try stepping into this role, the role of the witness. When an emotion arises, we just observe. We don't cling. If laughter comes, we know it. If sadness or pain comes, we simply see it for what it is. We will not grasp it. Mental images, we will not cling to them. The voice that speaks in the mind, we won't cling to it either. Thoughts or inner dialogue, we simply know. For instance, a thought arises, I miss my child. I've been away working in another province. I miss them so much. I'll visit this weekend. Can you see the thought arise? Can you see the mental image arise along with it? The picture of your child? Can you hear the inner voice that says, I miss my child. I'll go visit them this weekend. If you can see all this clearly, you'll begin to understand. You are not these things. You'll begin to understand that your true nature has no form. And the fact that we are dwelling in a form clearly shows that we are, in essence, formless. We are simply using this tool, this voice in the mind. We are using thought. We dwell in it to function, but it points to one unmistakable truth. We are a nature beyond language. We rely on thought, on the voice that speaks in the mind. Why do we rely on it? Because we have no form. We are a nature that is empty, clear, and pure. Because we have no form, no qualities, we must rely on these forms and these conditions. What I am pointing to is this. We have never truly been born into this world. We are not actually connected to this constructed reality. The voice that is coming from my mouth now, it's not truly me speaking. And even the voice itself is not me. It is simply a tool for communication. If we were bats, we would communicate through sonar, sending out high-frequency sound waves and reading their echoes. Each species has its own mode of communication, developed through an evolving but still imperfect system. Yet the human vessel that we now inhabit is the most refined. It allows for intricate communication through language, logic, and calculation. And this is precisely what allows us to rediscover and understand the mind so clearly and easily. Anyone who listens to the recordings I've shared, who listens deeply and reflects on the nature of mind, will come to see that nothing truly belongs to us. We have never truly appeared in this world. This is a constructed world, and we have simply borrowed forms to communicate for a time. It's like this. We are the pure element, and we have fallen into a dream. We appear within a dream world, a constructed illusion. Within that dream, we have bodies, families, possessions, everything feels real. And then we begin to think, to imagine, to fabricate and create stories. We struggle, work, strive for happiness and run from suffering. We live out complex dramas. It all feels real, yet it's still a dream. And then we age, deteriorate, separate from one another, and die, only to take up new roles again. We become animals, aquatic, terrestrial, underground, aerial. Then we return as humans. We change vessels, and in each one we may be eaten or eat another, over and over. We hate, we kill, we divide the land, this is my land, and destroy each other to claim it. We invent a kind of paper and call it money, and then we become slaves to it. We created rituals, traditions, and cultures only to become enslaved by them. We invented belief systems. If we live on a mountain, we must worship the mountain deity. If we live in the forest, we must pay homage to the forest spirit. If we live underground, we must revere the god of the worms. If we live in a hot climate, we must worship the god of fire or the sun god. We built cultural frameworks in each region, then passed them down unquestioningly, and from them arose struggle, conflict, war, because one group crossed into another's territory. In the end, we suffer in this dream world of existence, endlessly striving just to survive. We labor from dawn to dusk, searching for food. We consume one another. We kill and destroy from birth to old age. Then we die and take up a new vessel. The cycle begins again. We become a new creature, a new animal. This has continued for immeasurable ages within the dream world. Then one day someone dares to ask, why was I born? What do I truly want? Why have I been placed in this cage, entangled in this system of survival? If we had no body, we wouldn't need to suffer like this. We wouldn't need to seek food to feed it, wouldn't need a house, shelter, clothing, or medicine. If we had no body, perhaps things would be easier. So we start to wonder, how can we stop taking on these vessels? How can we stop being born? We begin to search for a way to understand what we really are. We start turning inward and notice that all living beings, whether in water, on land, underground, or in the sky, whether animal or human, are all just life essences residing in vessels. They are all expressions of consciousness. All living beings are but one consciousness, dwelling within different forms. This gives rise to a more refined way of thinking, a logic that turns against the current of outward seeking. We begin to look inward to find out who we really are, and then realization dawns. What would happen if we were to remove the body? What would remain? If we erase the body is no more. Even now, try closing your eyes. As soon as you close your eyes, the body vanishes. All material elements disappear. While the eyes are closed, everything external is gone. And yet, life clearly remains. Now we continue contemplating within this dream world. When we close our eyes, everything disappears. But what remains alive? From here, insight arises. The body is no longer there. Imagine if the body truly were gone. This is what it would feel like. Try closing your eyes again. Nothing remains to be seen. Now let us turn inward once more. This is the dream world, where everything feels real. Within this dream, all beings are searching for a way out of suffering, a way to be free from this world, using various methods. Some say that we are mind, that all beings are simply consciousness residing temporarily in different vessels. And for some, just this understanding is enough. We are mind. That too is a doorway to insight. For when we realize that we are mind dwelling in form, we also realize that these forms we inhabit are certainly not us, because the body exists only to break down and dissolve. It cannot last long. The truth is always right in front of us, but we simply refuse to accept it. Whoever is willing to accept the truth, whoever sees clearly that nothing is truly me, will encounter the pure element, the life element that is clear, radiant, and free of all suffering. It is the immortal essence. I awakened to this truth on the day I turned inward and broke through the stream of illusion. In that moment, everything I had once clung to shattered into nothingness. All questions dissolved. That is why I now speak and declare to you, we have never truly been born into this world. We are the clear, boundless essence that dissolves into the whole universe. This realization has no language, yet I must use language to share it with human beings. I use this voice, this language, to speak with you, to tell you, nothing belongs to us, not a single thing. It is just like a dream. And when we awaken, we will see it was all a dream. This is how it was for me. For most of my life, I too believed I was human, just like all of you. I believed I had to strive, to survive, to build a life, to raise a family, just like everyone else. But when I turned inward and truly awakened, everything I had ever clung to broke apart. It disintegrated completely from the mind, and I came face to face with my true nature, a clear essence, dissolving into the entire cosmos. There was no me left. No language remained to say I. There was only the pure element, our original nature. We are this element. It has no language, no voice. It does not rely on speech, imagination, emotion, or perception. In that essence, there is no tool at all. It is the most pristine origin, pure in every way, free from any contamination. There is no fabrication, no movement, no coming or going. It merges with all things. In that state, there is no time, there is no distance. We are the entirety. We are the clear emptiness that encompasses all. The infinite universe exists within us, right here, within our own being. That is the analogy. We have merely become lost in dimensions, three-dimensional space, the fourth and fifth dimensions, the dimensions of time, distance, thought, imagination, emotion, and perception. You may call them dimensions, or you may call them the constructed world, or even the dream world. We are simply lost in this realm of illusion and fabrication. This is the truth. So let us look deeper into this truth. In this dream world, we experience everything as if it were real, being human, being animals, filling the world with countless forms. We strive, struggle, seeking liberation from all suffering. We no longer want to suffer. We don't want to be reborn again. In this dream that we take to be real, let us imagine, what if we had no body? Without a body, there would certainly be no suffering, no need to eat, no need to find food, no need to wear clothing, no form to maintain. And yet right now, we know that we are alive. So close your eyes. Everything disappears, but we still feel that life is here. So where is this life? Here is another analogy. In deep sleep, everything vanishes completely. Are we still alive? Yes, we are. We remain alive, but without any story, no voice, no image, no emotion, no perception, no tools, no mental fabrications. In deep sleep, there is silence. Everything fades. We are still the life element, unchanged but free of all construction. We are that element. This is our pure original essence. It lacks only one thing: wisdom. Sleeping through life is not liberation. There is only one way to be free from birth and all suffering. We must see the truth and accept it. Usually, we don't want the truth, and we don't like it when it comes. Here's another metaphor. Imagine we create a cartoon, a story. We sit and imagine, like creating a play. The story begins with an ordinary protagonist, nothing special, just a simple, clumsy character. That is our hero. Then we create side characters. We create a village and a world for them to live in. And we draw all these things, inventing the entire story. We created a cartoon, drawing a story where the main character begins his journey. He grows, learns various skills, becomes capable, and eventually powerful. He fights against monsters, beasts, and even stronger opponents. As the story unfolds, the plot thickens with countless elements born from our boundless imagination. We keep imagining, creating layer upon layer of story, until the hero awakens to his hidden powers. With that awakening, he masters the greatest of arts and defeats all the monsters. He goes on to build a family, and the story reaches its end. It took 20 years to draw and create this cartoon, becoming incredibly popular as a result of our imagination. Everyone enjoys watching this cartoon. It's a compelling story, how someone rises from the lowest point to become the greatest, the strongest, the most exceptional. We watch this animated play and wish to be like it. We long for a life like the cartoons, to have powers, to master great skills, to defeat evil beings. Some wish to become the monsters just to face the hero. Others wish to become the hero to conquer the monsters. Some want to be the heroine, others are content to be side characters. After reading and learning about the cartoon's world, we become deeply immersed. We want to be part of it. But do we realize it was never truly real? In truth, the cartoon is something we imagined and made up. It doesn't actually exist. Yet we want to become it. We want our lives to be like the story. We begin to draw the story of our own lives. We create everything, just like crafting a cartoon or a film. We imagine it, shape it, and infuse it with emotions, dialogue, sound, and background music. We construct an entire imagined world. Then we immerse ourselves in that imaginary world so deeply that we begin to take it seriously until we become one of the characters. We come to believe that we truly are this cartoon character. We get so absorbed in the story that we rejoice and suffer along with it. But in reality, this theatrical world never existed at all. It is the same. This is the world of dreams. Yet we believe it to be truly real. I have told you already. We are consciousness, the life element, empty, clear, and pure. We have never truly been born into this world. But such truth is difficult for us to accept. In this dream world, we live lives that seem entirely real. Everything appears real. We search for ways to be free from suffering. We long to awaken and truly understand what we are. So we close our eyes and begin to see that everything disappears. When we close our eyes, if this body were no longer here, what would remain? Then we begin to understand, when the eyes are closed, the body seems to vanish, yet life still remains. But where is this life? We don't know. There is still a voice, still thoughts, even with closed eyes. Then we ask, what if there were no more thoughts? What if these thoughts were not even ours? What if we are only borrowing them? This body too is merely something we have come to inhabit. That means we do not truly have a body of our own. We have merely taken residence within it. If we could shed this body like a garment, something called life would still remain. Then why do we rely on this voice? Why do we depend on the inner thoughts we hear speaking? Why do we depend on this at all? That must mean, in truth, we have no voice. So what are we really? Why do we not have our own voice? Observe carefully. Our true nature has no voice. The voice within is simply a condition, a function. We merely dwell in this mental activity, this energy that rises and radiates as sound waves. We borrow this function. Without this surge of energy, there would be no voice. This shows us that we are the primordial nature itself, the origin from which all such manifestations arise. We are like the sun, which radiates light and heat outward. But just as we are not the sunlight, and we are not the heat, we are not the energy or magnetic fields that emanate from the sun. Those are not who we are. To understand our true nature, we must turn inward against the current and come to know what we truly are. Just observe. Observe carefully. If we simply observe the voice that is speaking within, we will see that it speaks by itself. Notice it clearly. Just like the body breathes on its own, ages naturally, and eventually dies by itself. The heart beats on its own. The intestines, liver, kidneys, all organs function without us doing anything. This clearly shows the body is not who we are. Now look deeper inward. Why is this voice constantly thinking, constantly speaking on its own? Observe and you'll see that it thinks by itself. It is simply a function of nature, thinking, and more thinking. This inner voice that constantly speaks, see it for what it is. Even as I open my mouth and speak now, this is not truly my voice. It is not me speaking. It is merely a natural form of communication, just a movement, an expression of the mind. Try closing your eyes and observing. There will still be a voice, constantly speaking. These thoughts, this voice, see clearly. They are not who we are. And if this voice is not us, then it means that we are a nature that cannot speak. That's why we borrow this voice to express. Mental imagery works the same way. Every time we think, pictures also appear. Say in your mind, I want to go to the zoo. I want to see the elephants, big elephants with beautiful tusks, a mother and her baby. I'm riding on one of them. Can you see it? These mental pictures are tools we borrow. The voice is a tool. The imagery is a tool. Thinking and imagining, they arise in the form of sound and image. We think, we imagine, we rely on these tools. If we observe closely, we will see that none of these are who we are. They are merely instruments we borrow. And this shows that our true nature is something beyond all of this, without voice, without image, without thought, without imagination. Now let's look at emotion. When we close our eyes and observe inwardly, we'll see that joy arises when we think or imagine something pleasant. When things turn out as we hoped, we feel happiness. But when they don't, suffering arises, or we may feel neutral, indifferent. Satisfaction, dissatisfaction, pleasure, pain, all are emotions. If we observe closely, we'll see that none of these emotions are who we are. They are simply appearances, just like voices and mental images. They arise on their own, function by their own nature, and fade away on their own. We merely borrow these appearances. This shows that we are a nature that has no such appearances at all, no voice, no image, no emotion. That is why I say our true nature has no coming or going, no movement. It is clear, pure, and empty, like the transparent space before us, which cannot be touched by the hand. And memory too is just another appearance. In our true nature, there is no memory. We borrow memory as a function. Observe carefully when we look at something, we remember where it was, what it looked like. It tries to store everything. But sometimes it remembers, sometimes it forgets. Do you see? It works on its own. The final function is perception, the act of knowing. Right now, you are perceiving the sound of my voice. Can you see that this knowing happens by itself? It smells by itself. It sees through the eyes by itself. It hears through the ears by itself. It smells through the nose by itself. It tastes through the tongue. It knows flavor by itself. It feels through the body, sensing heat or cold, all on its own. Observe this. It knows by itself. So where then is the self? If all these functions work independently, where is the self to be found? This shows that we are simply borrowing this act of knowing. It means we are a nature that has no perception of its own. Our true essence, the original element, is certainly alive, yet it has no form, no movement, no arising or ceasing. It is utterly pure, completely transparent, and free. We only need to see this clearly. The voice works by itself. It thinks on its own. The mental image projects on its own. Emotion constructs itself. Memory remembers on its own. And the act of perception functions independently. These 5 types of appearances perform their duties tirelessly. They never complain. They work automatically, continuously, and we are merely dwelling in the midst of them. I use this voice to communicate with you, but in truth I do not rely on it at all. It functions on its own. Can you see that the voice speaking now is not me speaking? Can you see that? And this too is not truly a voice. Knowing that is happening is not me knowing. It knows by itself. So where is the self to be found? Let the mind respond. Let a sudden, profound realization arise naturally from the mind itself. Listen deeply to every teaching I've shared, not just with your ears, but with inner stillness. Hold on to the truth gently, and let your heart incline toward it. Let this knowing truly sink in. When it touches the heart, awakening will arise. The mind will grow lighter, more spacious, and you will come to dwell as this true, formless essence. In truth, we have always been this pure element, but right now we are dwelling in layers of fabrication, relying on this voice, relying on thought. We use these thoughts again and again in an attempt to understand that which lies beyond thought. Our pure original nature, this elemental essence, is alive, but it has no language. At this moment, we are borrowing this voice, borrowing mental imagery, emotion, and perception, tools used to approach the source. It's like this. We are the yolk of an egg, surrounded by egg white, which in turn is protected by the shell. The yolk is the core, wrapped gently in layers. We don't realize that we are the yolk. To discover who we truly are, we must first question whether the shell is really us. Like a boiled egg, when we peel away the shell, we immediately see the shell is not us. We may think we are egg white, but if we peel that away, we come to know we are the yolk. We used to believe we were the shell, or the egg white, but in truth, we are the yolk within. In the same way, to trace our way back to the pure essence within, we must first see clearly that the body is not who we are. It will soon die. We must not rely on it, but see through it. Then we must go deeper, to the layer of mental fabrications, the layer of appearances. See clearly, the voice speaks by itself. It is not ours. We only borrow it. The yolk borrows the egg white. The egg white borrows the shell. Whenever the yolk stops relying on the white, it immediately realizes it is the yolk. In the same way, if we stop relying on this voice, seeing that it functions on its own and is not truly our voice, we will awaken. Though we must use this voice to communicate in the world of conventions, the key lies in understanding this truth. It is like waking from a dream. Bang! The moment we truly see that the voice is not us, the mental image is not us, the emotions, memory, and perception are not us, nothing is me, then the mind itself answers. Ask deeply within, and the mind will echo back. Bang! Awakening arises. There will be a sudden jolt. Bang! And we will realize we were asleep. All along, we were dreaming. We had struggled our entire lives in the world of dreams, without knowing we had fallen asleep and begun to dream. In truth, not a single thing had any real selfhood. We were never truly part of the dream world. We were never truly human. We never truly had a family. We never truly did anything. No good, no bad, no right, no wrong. We were never anything at all. None of it ever truly existed. Just like the cartoon world we once created, it never truly existed. And with that, it ends. If we understand that the entire movie we've been watching isn't real, that we are only the witness, and that none of it is actually true, then we can step out of the theater, step out of this world of illusion, step out of the dream, and that's the end. I'm only here to point this out, to use this voice, to tell you that this voice itself is not real. We have been relying on thought the whole time, but the thought is not real. The voice speaking in your mind, that is thought. Yet the voice has no real existence. You can't hold it. Try to grasp it. No one can. Voice is only a function, a current of energy arising from the mind, and the mind is the original, pure, clear, empty element from which all these appearances spring forth. They are tools, nothing more, used to learn what we truly are, because this pure life element cannot know itself without them. For this elemental nature to recognize itself, it must create tools, just as one must invent equipment to explore the depths of the ocean. You need a submarine, a diving suit. But once the answer is found, that's it, you discard them all. You no longer need the submarine or the suit. You only needed them to discover what you sought to know. In the same way, once we turn inward and awaken, we see that these outer tools are not who we are. This body is not us. This voice is not our voice. Mental images, emotions, and perception, these are energetic displays of the mind. We only borrow them temporarily as instruments. Once realization arises, tears may fall. A great lightness emerges. We have no form, and that is why we are so free, so light. Whoever listens to me, truly listens, will grow lighter with each repetition. The more you hear, the lighter you become. Listen again and again, and wisdom will blossom 25%, 50%, 75%, until 100%. When our consciousness, this life element, breaks free from its tools, it bursts open. The illusion that we were ever human shatters. Even the sense of having a body dissolves into pieces within. What remains is a clear, radiant being, pure and boundless, one that merges with the entire universe. You will know this is the final lifetime. You will feel it deep within your heart. I have never truly been born into this world, and this is my final life. It becomes unmistakably clear we are not human. and you will know without a doubt that nothing can cause rebirth or suffering again. All suffering falls away from the mind completely, and this world will enter a state of global peace. No more conflict, no more competition, for there is nothing to claim as mine. Pride, vanity, and arrogance will vanish. What remains is giving, sharing, and conversations only about the mind, about liberation from suffering. It will feel as if we have been inside a dream world and no longer get caught up in the dream. Whatever happens in the dream, so be it. It no longer causes suffering, for it's just a dream, never truly real. When this body finally dissolves, consciousness, the life element, will not return again. It becomes pure substance, merged into the whole universe. All of us are one and the same. It's time to return home. Let this be the end. May each of you awaken to the science of mind. May all of you truly realize the nature of the mind. May realization come swiftly and suddenly to all of you. If you're interested in these teachings on awakening, mind observation, and transcending suffering through wisdom, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your insights in the comments, provide productive feedback, and if you find this content valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.